Welcome to the Launch to Six podcast, a podcast about how you can launch your online business from 0 to 6 figures in 24 months or less, regardless of your prior experience. Now, here's your hosts.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Launch to Six podcast. In this episode, we're going to be covering the importance of building a list and why you should be building a list, which is a database of people that are interested in your topic. So a lot of people talk about build a list. And I think we talk about this, Thomas. It's like, why build a list, right? Especially when you're new, what does a list mean? And maybe, Thomas, you can start from your angle. And why do you think it's so important to build a list as an entrepreneur, especially online?
Yeah, of course. Hey guys, hope you guys are all well. So yeah, it's one of the things that a lot of people don't tend to talk about so heavily. They tend to sort of go into, these different strategies for gaining leads. But I think it's such an important thing to build your list. It is one of the biggest assets in your business. It's a huge digital asset. It's one of those things where, and we'll go into it in a bit more detail, but if you've got a large and well-maintained list, you can consistently sell, make product, and make profit, I should say. It's just so important. Any large marketing business, any large business will have a large list, a large database. And I mean, Tom, just for our listeners, we talk about a list. What is a list? Define a list.
Yeah, list is simply a series of name and emails, which is human beings, right? People interested in your stuff. You built a list through giving away free things, and it's a list of people that are interested in the topic you're selling, and they are engaged, and they actually think about this, everyone. They spent the time to click on your ad or click on your Facebook group, to fill in their name and email, and to open up your emails. They're interested in what you're talking about. Otherwise, they would unsubscribe.
Yeah.
So they are interested. So your job is to serve them, help them, be cool to them, like you would a friend, and then you ask for a sale. It's what good old Gary V says is jab, 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 right hook. It makes sense, but you don't have to wait a month to sell. You can sell every day on email, but you're also giving tremendous value while you're doing it.
Yeah, and so basically, one of the key things with this is the fact that many people say, "Oh, I've got a large following." I've got a large following on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or wherever, and you go, that's a large list. Well, technically, it's not, because, and there's a reason for this. It is a large following. The reason it's not your list is because you don't own that data. Those platforms own that data set. Now, it may not happen, but if Facebook goes down and your entire business is based on the fact that you have X thousand followers on your Facebook page or on your Instagram, and that's your list, and those platforms suddenly disappear overnight, your business is gone. You've lost that. So it's so important to be able to capture that. There's this, and Tom mentioned earlier around the idea of giving away value, and then you can capture the lead. And really the key thing is to be able to put that onto a platform, onto something that you control. And we will do a podcast around how the different sort of email platforms that you guys can utilize at another point. So keep tuned for that. But that's the really key difference, is that you're following, that they then come into your space. You control that email list. You control that list.
Yeah, you own it, right?
Yeah, you own it. And Tom, what's the stat? There's got an interesting stat around if you are a good marketer, you have a good product. How much is a list worth? Because that's another thing that makes it really important. Is that monetary?
Great point. Per email, they say email marketing is the highest revenue generator for any online company. That's huge. So not online, it's email. Email, people buy through email. Everyone listening here has purchased because they clicked on the email, they bought something. Everyone. I would guarantee it. Every single human's done that on this. Here's the thing though. It's interesting because every email that you have on your list is worth, over 2 years, is worth $16 on average.
That's fascinating.
$16 over a 2 to 3 year period. And that's average. This is true story. I had 15,000 people on the list. It sounds a lot. Everyone's like, whoa, that's crazy. But that's over a few years. That made me $2 million. That made me close to over $2 million.
That's a crazy stat, isn't it?
So, and everyone's like, Tom, you're just saying that. That's fine. If you go in our Launch to Six forum, we do webinars, we show these email receipts. So it's not just, we're not just saying it, we're showing it. I could have made a lot more, by the way. But the reason why is because I really helped the list and I offered a higher ticket course, a higher ticket product. So they might not make that much, but they can still make a tremendous living from the list. And it's great because it's almost like people think 100 people on my list, that's not a lot. Imagine 100 people coming through your front door in your house right now.
Yeah. I do love it when you put a perspective to it. So, and yeah, like I say, we will do another podcast. I think in the next podcast, even we can do around some email list platforms, so you guys have that sort of some more technical detail. But the general concept of list ownership is so crucial, and I think that it's one of the biggest assets that you can own in your business.
Well, Thomas, I don't think people understand the benefits, right? They're thinking, what do you mean the list? But I think the benefits of having a list, you could be in Hawaii on vacation and sell an affiliate product and make residual income. I don't know any business that gives you that freedom like that.
Yeah, it's huge. And I mean, ultimately, you know, for the more sort of old school, it's your black book on steroids, if that makes sense. Your little black book of contacts.
Absolutely.
And, you know, to define, you know, a lead. I mean, a list contains your leads, and you know, it depends on the nature of your business and the data that you hold. And obviously, you've got to be aware of your the very GDPR and data regulations, of course. But generally, the bare minimum that you want is name and email. But you know, the more developed you become, name, email, phone number, text contact, maybe a secondary email, some details about the individual, and we can go into more about around the actual software around that. But it's ultimately the information you contain on your customer. And then obviously the ability then to track them through your product stepway. So your products, what products have they bought, and so on and so forth. That way you can control your marketing streams and so on and so forth. But yeah, guys, I hope that's been a good summary of why you guys need a list. And I hope we've convinced you why you need a list in your business and how important it is. But guys, stay tuned. Jump into the Launch to Six forum, like and subscribe, leave us a comment, helps us greatly with the content that we produce, and catch you on the next one. See you later. All the best.